Peace and greetings, what's good? This is your girl Naya from the Metaphysical Mami, and this is a video response to Rachel from Queer Tarot. I was asked a few questions, and thank you for the questions, and it's nice to meet you, and I'm happy to do this video response. So you asked me if I knew about the Jade Oracle and the Next World Tarot. Never heard of them until you mentioned it in your video, and of course, like the tarot geek that I am, or the tarot nerd that I am, shout out to the Tarot Nerds Facebook group, by the way. Okay, so I went and I looked online, and I realized that they were Kickstarter decks. So the Jade Oracle looks really cool and interesting. I noticed that it's based kind of in Mexican heritage and their deities and their kind of pantheon. It looks really intriguing. However, I'm not very familiar with their with their stories, like with their mythology and things like that. I do find it intriguing, and the artwork is very, very beautiful. I'm interested to know, like, when you get them, how they read for you, and how the messages are for you, and do you vibe with the messages or the artwork, or do you know anything about the mythology and the stories and things like that? That would be kind of interesting to know and find out. I like learning about other cultures and other religion and mythologies and things like that. So that's something that kind of piqued my interest when I saw them, and I was like, oh, that's really cool that's being represented in, I'll say, the cartomancy world. So that's pretty cool. The Next World Tarot, it's I was kind of like taken aback, because in a good way. I think her artwork is very, very beautiful. I think that's going to be extremely readable and really relatable at the same time, because at least for me, it'll be really relatable, because I don't know, like, it's something about where she's coming from. I love the artwork of that deck, but it called to me kind of like from a place where this is the world that we live in. There's so many different things going on, and we have to acknowledge that it exists, that it's there, that it's present. You can't just like pick and choose what you want, right? You have to exist in this very diverse world that we live in. So yeah, actually, the Next World Tarot has gone onto my wish list, because I think it's absolutely beautiful. So also, when you get yours, please let me know how it works for you, how it reads. I think that would be amazing to work with that deck at some point on my tarot journey. The next question you asked me is, how long have I been reading tarot? So I will say I have been reading tarot for about the past 5 years now. Yes, about the past 5 years now. Like, really, like, getting into the books, reading, finding people that I can converse with, and things of that nature. And then, of course, dailies and doing readings for friends and all that kind of stuff there. So yeah, about 5 years. And then you asked also, why did I decide to start a vlog channel? I think that's a interesting question, and it's a good question. So every book that you read is like, keep a tarot journal, write it down. And I did that for maybe the first 6 months. I'm not even gonna lie. For the first 6 months, I was like diligent with it. I would write down my daily card, what it meant, this and that. But then, like, I had a lot going on. Like, I was always doing schoolwork, I was always at work, I was working overtime. Too much was going on, and I couldn't write it down, but I didn't want to not document my journey. So I created a private video log, so a private vlog for myself, so I could do my dailies, because it was just quicker to like shuffle the cards, pull the deck, and boom, okay, this is what it is, this is what it means, this is what happened today. And so just kind of like talking to a friend or something. And so I've done that for like the past four and a half years, consistently, more or less, at least once. You know, if I'm not doing dailies, I'll at least do weekly kind of deal. And I don't know, I just think that I'm in a more, you know, I'm a very reserved person for the most part. I can keep myself entertained, but there's a lot in my head. There's a lot that I like to explore, that I like to read on. And I figured that what I know might be helpful for somebody out there, somebody who could relate to what I'm saying or something like that. So I decided this year that I was going to make a public vlog channel. I mean, I'm not going to do my dailies on here, but I feel comfortable enough to do, you know, general readings, or anonymous free readings, things of that sort. Talk about decks, talk about themes behind the decks, just talk tarot in general, metaphysics in general, because that I like all of it, you know, not just specifically tarot. I mean, I love tarot, don't get me wrong, but tarot, oracle, again, astrology, those are kind of my two main go-to things, is tarot and astrology. But other things like alchemy, or I don't know, any kind of like pseudoscience. I'm like pretty much always went, even when I was younger, when I was little, into the metaphysical section at the bookstore. That's where I was. Who knows why? But my very first tarot deck that I ever got, I think I was 13. I think I was 13. 13 sounds right. I was 13. I got my first tarot deck when I was 13. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been reading tarot since I was 13, but I kind of wish I had the journal from back then, because I did use these. So my first tarot deck was a deck of Marseille, Tarot de Marseille. And it's just the 22 major arcana cards. Excuse me. Just the 22 major arcana cards. And I used to journal a lot. When I was younger, I always wrote stuff down. Because at that time, I'm going to age myself right now, we didn't have computers. We didn't have the internet. So journaling was a thing for me. And there were times where, you know, I would pull these out and I didn't have really an extensive book that went with it. It came in a divination kit that came with a set of runes, a set of coins so that I can cast I Ching, and this, and then it also talked about palmistry and astrology. And, you know, that divination set was really the kind of like the first door that I went through, that sparked my interest in all things occult, basically. And yeah, and I still have them. I can't even believe that I still have them because I have moved so much in my life. So you know, so yeah, so that's my story. How long have you been reading tarot? Let me know, how long have you been reading tarot? Is there any other types of divination that you'd like to do or that you're interested in? Do you have a system of tarot, like a preference, like TDM, Thoth, or Rider-Waite-Smith? So even though my first deck was a TDM, my the one that I first learned to read with was the Rider-Waite-Smith. That's why I'm going with Thoth next, because there's a lot of other stuff that I already know I can layer on top of it. And then when my head is about to explode, I can say, you know what? Let's strip everything back and let's work on Tarot de Marseille. So that's kind of how I'm working mine. So I hope you enjoyed this video response. And yeah, let me know, you know, if you have any other questions. This has been great. I can sit here and ramble all night, but let me try to keep it concise for the most part. So anyways, yeah, again, this was great. being able to do a video response to answer some of your questions, and I hope you found it insightful and helpful, and I will talk to you on the next one. Much love, many blessings. Peace.